Hi everyone, and welcome to our phonics workshop for reception class this year. I'm sorry that we can't have you in school as we usually would, and you'd be able to see the children in their learning as well, but obviously current times means we can't invite you in. So I just thought I'd put this little presentation together for you, so to give you an overview really of what phonics learning and reading and writing learning will look like in reception year. I will print off these slides and send them home in their bag as well, so you'll have all the information at home. If you have any questions, please let me know. There's always time at the end of the day for me to have a quick chat with you if there's anything that you would like clarifying. Okay, so we'll get started. So yeah, just to reiterate really that obviously in the early years and throughout school really, working together, teacher and family and parents really helps children to progress and really improves those outcomes. So again, thank you for all your support. Again, let me just move this. Just a big thank you. I've been so impressed with how quickly the children have got back into their daily reading. Over 90% of children are reading at least 3 times a week at the moment, which is fantastic. I'd love to get that figure even higher. The more the children read at home, the more fluency they're going to begin to gain in their reading, and also that love for learning will continue to flourish. So as I've put here, it has an invaluable impact on your child's love for reading, their ability to talk about and create their own stories, as well as making rapid progress in their phonics skills. So I know it can be hard sometimes when you've had a busy day at work, but it really does have a massive impact. So thank you very much from all of us here. So just before we begin really thinking about the phonics, just as I've spoke to you before, if children that were in the nursery, just how important language is, and actually in the new curriculum that you've all received a letter about that we're following now. We're an early adopter, so hopefully it'll be coming in for all schools next year. There's even more emphasis now on the importance of language, the importance of building children's vocabulary up, hearing lots of words every day, many times, so that they can then embed that language into their long-term memory and begin to use that as well. And there's often gaps between certain areas where children may come from, things like that. So it's just really important that we are taking every opportunity to not just share stories, but share thoughts, share ideas, create own stories, talk about just daily tasks, talk about what you can see when you're out walking, and just take time really to listen to the children. We have lots of time at school to do that. We're really lucky. I know it's a bit more tricky sometimes in everyday busy lifestyles, but just that time to just sit and chat and really value that back and forth conversation is invaluable. And I know the children are always coming and talking to us about the things that you get up to at home, and the lovely experiences you have. So I know you're all doing a fantastic job, but I just wanted to emphasise the magic of language again once today. So what we've just got written down here is how language is extrinsically linked to reading and writing, how it widens their vocabulary, the promotion of asking and answering questions as well, promotes their curiosity, makes them want to know a bit more about the world, things like that. So, and obviously talking about stories, really important. So here is the breakdown for the aims of the literacy learning in reception. So by the time the children finish reception, these are the new early learning goals, and as you can see, they've now been broken up between comprehension, word reading and writing. Okay, so comprehension is obviously more about the understanding of what the child is reading, so not only just being able to blend that word, but also to be able to match that word to an object, understand the sentence that they have just read. Then we've got word reading here, which is what you will all be used to now, so saying a sound for each letter in the alphabet, and then blending that word together to hear the word. Okay, so saying the sounds, cat, hearing the word together. Obviously I won't read all these out to you because you'll have this on your printout, but they are what we are aiming for by the end of reception. Don't worry if you were looking at these now and thinking my child is nowhere near that, because we've got the whole year to be working on these and they are already showing some rapid progress. Children all develop at different pace, so some children may get here quicker and some may need that little bit of extra support during reception and maybe even into year 1, but that's what we're here for. So obviously the more that we do at school and the more you work on it at home as well, they will all get there. Okay, so yeah, so we've got comprehension, word reading, and then obviously we've got our writing as well, so writing recognisable letters, spelling words and writing simple phrases. But again, in reception, any writing we truly value and we really promote that sort of writing for a purpose, writing for enjoyment, things like that. So that's a big part of our provision. Okay, so these are just some examples actually from a government document from the previous curriculum of what writing may look like at the end of the reception year. So I am really good at this now because I've been doing this job for so long, so I'm very good at decoding the children, spelling, things like that. So as you can see, we've got a list there. Get red nose, put a red nose on, so like a list about what happens on Red Nose Day. And you can see there's somebody's created a little sign, and then you've got a bit of writing there to do with, I think, the doctor's role play. So as you can see, the spelling isn't perfect. What they're doing is using their phonetic skills to hear the sounds in the words that they can hear, and often their writing does show that sound, but it's not the sound that we know is the correct spelling. But what we're just after in reception is for them to use the sounds that they know to decode words. So if the spelling's not correct at this point, that's not the end of the world. Although we do like them to learn their high frequency words and tricky words, which obviously you will have seen them bringing home on their word tree. So obviously we're working on spellings that are related to their current level of phonics. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so just a little bit about the way that we teach phonics in schools. So we follow the Phonics Book program, which is a wonderful program. It has really lovely colourful videos. It has lots of games. It's directly linked to lots of the books that the children bring home. So it all sort of blends into one. And what we've been doing these last few weeks is spending lots of time reviewing all those sounds that we learnt last year. And our 2 new starters have picked them up so beautifully. So we've just got the sounds there for you. So these sounds just along here, and then obviously the tricky words I, to, know, go, the, and into, which they love. And then so throughout reception now, we will begin to teach phase 3, and later on we'll teach through to phase 4, and then when the children are ready, and if they are ready, we will be moving on to phase 5 sounds as well. You can find more about the individual phases if you would like to, and there's loads of wonderful ideas in here as well in the letters and sounds document, which I've just noted here, which is quite an old document now that the government released many years ago when synthetic phonics first came more popular in teaching in schools. But yeah, it gives you all the breakdown of all the different sounds that are taught within each phase, and also the high frequency words and tricky words that go with that. So if you are interested, that's there for you as well. And obviously you can use this then to support learning at home. So yes, it's going to be really exciting because lots of the children now are ready to start writing words, and some of those sounds they've not learnt yet, like the E in sheep and the ow in shout. So those sort of sounds are the ones that we will be learning this year. And when we have 2 letters but only 1 sound, we call those digraphs. Okay, so 2 letters, 1 sound. Your children will tell you all about it, I am sure. So I know it's a bit different to how some of us would have been taught at school. So it's all new sometimes. So here we go in phase 3. We teach digraphs, which I just talked about, and also trigraphs, which are the 3 letters, 1 sound, like the I in light and the air in fair. Okay, and then just as you can see on the screen here, we've got tricky words that we teach alongside these sounds. So as the children progress through phase 3, they will be getting these tricky words up on their word tree. And when they are coming the tricky words, I will start to add some of those high frequency words, which are words that can be sounded out, but we do like them to begin to learn those by sight. Okay, so there you go, there's that for you. And obviously what I've just said about the word tree, so thank you for those that are practicing those every day. It makes such a massive impact, so thank you very much. Okay, so early reading. Obviously we're doing lots of blending practice and reading individual words and phrases, but I've just wrote the first point there just to that we are continuing to embed a love for literature. So what we do is we use a book every week, and I'm just going to move me actually because my little Dr. Seuss post can't be seen, and I do really love that quote. So we are doing a book every week, so I'm sure your children have come home and told you about those books. We did Little Red Riding Hood, and we're currently doing 3 Little Pigs. And before that, we actually learned I read a couple of new books to them, and wow, they picked them up so quickly. And because we're repeating these every day, the children are developing new vocabulary around these books and hearing them, using that language in their play, retelling the story in their play, using the ideas from the books to create their small world and imaginative play. So it really is wonderful, and I really do believe in that repetition to really begin to really enjoy the book and unpick lots of aspects of it. Sometimes we'll read a book and we'll sort of hover over a word that we actually, when we think about it, sometimes we may not have come across before, and it's worth just stopping and having a little explore of that word together. So we'll be doing that, and I will give you the book list as well each time I send out the midterm view as well. So their phonics books, which children will be bringing home, will be linked directly to the sounds that we're learning in class. Some children may be on phase 2 because we feel like they need a bit more practice with that first, but then as soon as they begin to do their blending, they will soon pick up those phase 3 as well. So blending practice by saying individual sounds in the words and blending them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop there for a moment and go into here. So on here is one of our phonics books that the children will bring home, but this is actually on the screen at the moment from the phonics website that we use to do our teaching. So obviously when the children bring their books home, it's always a lovely idea to obviously talk about the title, talk about what's on the front cover, have a little think about what might happen in this story, what characters do you think might be in there. And then maybe on the first night that your child brings the book home, the inside cover always has the keywords out of the book and also the sounds that they need to have embedded before they can begin to blend these. So it's a really nice idea maybe on the first night to just go through that together. There's lots of ideas as well on the front cover and in the back about what you can talk to your child about in the story. It gives lots of tips and ideas and things, and I still use them now even though I've been teaching 6 years. So so queen, queen. Okay, and that's got 3 sounds. Queen, queen. So we use our fret fingers. Queen, queen. Okay, sometimes the words that have got on the end are a bit tricky, so sometimes we cover up that at first, read the word, and then add it at the end. Tool, tools, tools. Okay, so obviously then, as you move through the book, it's a really good idea to read the words with your child. Let them say the sounds. If it's a tricky word, it's a nice idea to just highlight that. Oh, tricky word this one is. Have a little think, and I'm sure that they will remember it as the. So and your child will say the sounds queen, and hopefully they'll begin to start blending that together to hear the word queen. But the more we say it with them, the quicker they will pick it up. And I always encourage the children to re-say the phrase once they've decoded it. So the queen, queen, cooks, cooks the food. The queen cooks the food. So they're repeating that, and that's where that comprehension comes in and that understanding as well. So I think the books are wonderful that we use in school, so I'm hoping that you're enjoying them as well at home. So early reading, and then of course we've got the other aspect of phonics, which is writing, which often comes after after the reading, because if a child is not blending words yet, they're going to find it really tricky to segment those sounds and words and write them down. But what we do see lots of at this point in reception, and obviously in nursery last year, is lots of mark making, using letters in their pretend writing, but not quite yet always writing the sounds that they hear in the words. Some children are beginning to do that now, especially things like labelling farm animals. They're beginning to hear some of those sounds, but the beauty of reception is we're going to be teaching lots more sounds in phase 3, which just opens up those doors for them even further. I just wanted to make a point really here about the fine motor aspect of this and the pencil control, wrist and elbow movement. So we do a lot of moving our elbows, lots of exercise with our fingers, lots of moving our wrists. So yeah, when your child is using hammers maybe at home or building with their Lego, don't forget that that's really valuable time, because it's helping build those fine motor skills and increasing their hand strength. When your child is holding their pencil, you might notice that they're not quite holding it in a pincer grip yet. They might be holding it whole-handed. Some children come from the outside in. So just gentle reminders every now and again, just like, oh, look how I'm holding my pencil. I find that a bit easier. I feel like I've got more control. That's sort of things that we might say in school to them. But often that may come at a later date. We've got some children who are holding their hands, I wouldn't say in a comfortable grip, but are forming letters now. So hopefully that will come in a few months' time down the line. So we're just increasing letter formation. We're just encouraging letter formation at the moment. We're doing that every day in the morning. Really nailing down that name writing. So we've seen some beautiful progress with that this month. And then obviously we're doing CVC words, so being able to hear the sounds in tap and then write those down. And we're really trying to encourage some independence with that now as we move on in our reception year. And then eventually, as the year progresses, we will begin to write short phrases. So it might be at the beginning of the year that I might write I am, and it asks the children to finish the sentence with one word. And then we'll build that up throughout the year so that the children become more independent with writing sentences themselves. And obviously learning those tricky words that are on the word trees will really help open the door to that sort of spelling and language for them as well, so they can write more of the things that they're interested in. We do things like writing lists, we will write stories, we'll write labels, signs and things like that to go around the room. So lots of fun ways of writing. We do obviously try and encourage it through play as much as we can at such a young age, because obviously that's what the children are interested in, and when they're happy and when they're playing, that's how they learn the best. Okay, so really just here is just some of the ways that you can support your child at home, which I know lots of you are really good at and had loads of practice in over lockdown. I'm sure that lots of you could have a little career in early years yourselves now. So just things like what I spoke about earlier, creating time to talk to and listen to one another, celebrating conversation, exploring new words together, listen to your child read their school book every night, share bedtime stories and create stories together. Oh, I love making up stories and taking it in turns to add new ideas into the story. Oh, it really promotes that creativity and, you know, promotes story writing later on. So it's always a lovely activity to do. Obviously practicing their word trees. We have copies of word trees in school, so don't feel like you have to keep these in their book bag. You're very welcome to take it out, stick it up on your fridge or next to their bed at home so that you can refer to it throughout your day. Lots of sound talk games, which we spoke about in previous years. Things like, can you find your coat? Let's go get some food. So segmenting those words for your child to try to decode. Magnetic letters are brilliant to have at home. Sound cards. If anybody ever wants some resources for home, please let me know. We can laminate sound cards, things like that, and send them home. Playing I Spy games are good. I spy something beginning with a S. I spy something beginning with K. Lots of rhyming. Rhyming and clapping syllables. So happy, I love you, let's go shopping, All these things really help children to decode words later on, and rhyming is really linked to the ability to blend and decode as well. So any rhyming games that you've got at home, there's lots of lovely rhyming videos online as well that you can use. Games such as snap and pairs with their sounds and words, so just copying their word tree words down onto card and making a game using those. And then we've got educational games online such as Alpha Blocks and Phonics Play, and I will just show you Phonics Play in just a moment. So on the end of these slides are just some resources that you could have at home. So there's a phase 3 card there, a phase 2 card, we've got high frequency word maps there, and also little bookmarks. These are all off Twinkle, but obviously you'll have them on your handout. I'm not sure, some of you may have a Twinkle account from lockdown. I know they were doing some freebies, but some basic resources are always free, so it'd be worth going and having a little check out and having a little look at that. So just to finish off, this is the Phonics Play website, so just put Phonics Play into Google. And the children love these games. So for example, Picnic on Pluto, we do this in class. I created my own game, which the children love to do. So you've got Ob and Bob, and Ob likes to eat the nonsense words, and Bob likes to eat the real words. So when you click start here, you can choose which phase you want your child to practice. So at the moment, we've only covered the first set of phase 3, so it would be worth doing phase 2. But later on in the year, you can choose which sets that you want to practice. So you could, and then your child has to blend the word eat, meat, and decide, is it real or is it fake? Is it a nonsense word? And when they give it to the correct alien, you get a little response there. So these games are so much fun, and they're so worth popping on like every now and again for your child at home. It's a really fun way for them to practice their sounds, and it's nice to mix things up a bit with word trees, school books, and games, just to keep them, enjoying their learning. So I think that's everything I wanted to show you. So yeah, thank you for joining us today, and I hope it was really valuable for you. Sorry that it's a little bit impersonal doing it online. Obviously, if you've got any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much. Bye bye.